Oh
and
my
we can
God,
talk
get the
about
hell out of here.
We can
dude.
talk about Rodgers.
Get the hell out of here.
Okay, what is the need to bring up the Yankees?
It's just stuff to bring up because
Are you kidding me? Come on, dude. This came out of nowhere.
not. Clemson is a top team. Don't start with that. Clemson's a top team, no doubt, 100%.
Unless they're on Saturday, then they might move down.
Welcome back to Goat Chat. We are back with episode number 74. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button. If you're not, welcome back. We got a great episode for you guys today. A little baseball talk and a little football talk. But first, of course, you guys know we got the go of the number. We're on number 74. Connor, I think I know who you're going to go with pretty much because you told me it. But might as well just tell the viewers right now.
Man, I've been waiting for this number for a while now. I was kind of bummed out when we went to the one episode a week for the fact that we were only meeting one time a week, but also for the fact that we had to wait a little bit longer for this number. It is Nick Mangold, former center of the New York Jets. He is a 7-time Pro Bowler, a 2-time All-Pro in an 11-year career. He's arguably the best lineman in New York Jets history, which I know you guys may say that's not saying a lot because it's the Jets, but Nick Mangold had an incredible career, and he started in 164 games, and he played in 164 career games. He was a great center for the New York Jets and a great center in the AFC for many years. So that's for that reason I have to go with Nick Mangold. His long blonde hair here for 74.
Mike, I was looking at your face. I feel like you're not going to agree with him here.
No, Nick Mangold totally slipped my mind. Even though I'm not a Jets fan, I was a huge fan of him. Great player and great guy off the field. But I'm going with a player from my favorite football team, Bob Lilly. He was a defensive tackle and defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys. 11-time Pro Bowler, 7-time All-Pro, 1-time Super Bowl champ, Hall of Fame 1960 team and 70s team. This guy was an absolute menace on the defensive line, just disrupting play after play. And he did it for a solid 13 years in the NFL. So one of the best defensive linemen of all time, and I got to go with Bob Lilly here.
Tommy?
Yeah, those are both good picks, but I'm going to go with Merlin Olsen today. I do have an honorable mention for later that they thought I was going to go with, but Olsen was a Hall of Famer, 14-time Pro Bowler, played his entire 14-year career with the Los Angeles Rams, and 5-time All-Pro as well. Put together a really great career. It's about all I have to say with Merlin Olsen. Played from 62 to 76.
Where did Tommy just pull that out of? I mean, Tommy, you can give your honorable mention now about the guy that you were going to go 2 seconds before we came on air.
Yeah, I was going to go with Kenley Jansen, but, Kenley, he's not Hall of Fame caliber. I had to go with a Hall of Fame player, but, as long as we're talking about him, he won the World Series last year, the Dodgers. He's been, their closer for many years, 3-time All-Star and 2-time Hoffman Reliever of the Year award. So I want to definitely mention Kenley Jansen as well.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Mike here. I'm going to go with Bob Lilly. It was between Merlin Olsen and Bob Lilly, to be honest, Tommy. But I took with Lilly because he's got more All-Pros, less Pro Bowls, but I value All-Pros more than Pro Bowls. They both have they're both on 2 Hall of Fame teams, I'm pretty sure. But Bob Lilly's got the Super Bowl, so I think that just outweighs it. So Bob Lilly's my pick here. What Mike said, I second that notion. But good pick, Tommy. I'm proud of you. You made a better pick than Connor, that's for sure.
Oh, thanks. Well, I mean, I just went to Bleacher Report, and they helped me out on that pick. So thank you to Bleacher.
Tommy, you can't reveal your secrets.
I had to stick to my roots. It's not very often they get to come on here and say a Jets player. So number 74, I had to go with Nick Mangold here.
I mean, if we talk about the greatest coaches of all time, Adam Gase is going to be up there. So you'll get to shout him out then.
He's my favorite by far. Like, I can't even describe my disappointment when he was fired and they brought in Robert Saleh or whatever his name is. But and I hope he does very well. But Adam Gase, he's one of the best coaches of all time.
All right. Well, us from Go Chat, we have a great episode planned for you guys today. There was a major contract given out in the MLB and a huge trade in the NFL. We're going to break those deals down when we come back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Goat Chat. There was a big signing this week in Major League Baseball, an extension rather. Fernando Tatis Jr., one of the bright young stars in the game, signed a massive 14-year, $340 million extension, which personally I think is just crazy. I know that he's a star, and we're going to get into all of it. But I mean, to think when this deal's done, we're going to be in like our mid-30s, guys. Like, I don't even know. That's a huge commitment from the Padres, especially for a guy that's only played 143 games combined in his whole career. And obviously, in the 60-game season, he was unbelievable. Everybody saw what he was able to do. Just taking a look at the numbers here: 17 homers, 45 RBIs. He hit 277. His defense is just outstanding. He's, a dynamic player, and anybody would be happy to have them on their team, especially to lock him up for that long. But at the same time, I don't know. Personally, I just think that's a really big commitment for a guy that hasn't even played a combined full season. Guys, what do you think?
The Padres have been handing out a lot of money. I saw a stat the other day that their infield is worth like $810 million between him, Machado, Eric Hosmer is still the first baseman, I think. So I mean that's a lot of money for your infielders there in San Diego. But no, I mean Fernando Tatis, he's an electrifying player. He's going to bring a lot of stuff to San Diego. I mean, we saw it last season with him breaking the unwritten rules of baseball when he's hitting grand slams up in a game. I mean, he's the players that's not going to care. He's not going to take the bat out of his hands. His coaches aren't going to take the bat out of his hands, and he's gonna bring that fire back to baseball that has really been missing. I mean, Tommy, I know you and I both are huge fans of baseball, but I mean, to be honest, like it's been missing that flair these past couple seasons. And I think with these electrifying players like Fernando Tatis, that flair and that excitement may actually start to be coming back to these ballparks. So I mean, it's a move in the right direction for sure for baseball as a whole. For the Padres, a lot of money for 14 years going to a player with limited experience. But he has all the upside in the world.
Absolutely, Connor. Got to agree with you there. Mike, what do you think?
Listen, I think this is kind of a steal for the Padres. I know you guys can talk about that. He hasn't played 160 games yet, but last year he played like the best shortstop in baseball, no doubt. He played like an MVP type caliber player. And if you really do the math out, 340 divided by 14, that's $24 million a year. By the time, like even halfway through, probably the best players in the game are going to be getting $40 million a year, right? So I think as long as Tatis stays healthy, obviously that's the biggest thing. He's had some injury problems in the past. So I think if he stays healthy, this is going to be a massive steal. You're only paying Tatis $24 million a year. There's no doubt that if he's on the field, he's going to perform. And if he doesn't, we can go back to this episode and, prove me wrong, right? But I think Tatis is going to be the best shortstop in baseball for the next 6 to 10 years. He might not be it right now because, it's kind of hard to say when he hasn't played 160 games. But I think this is a great deal for the Padres. If I was Tatis, I probably would have waited 2 more years, then cashed in on an even bigger contract. And but great deal for both. Tatis wanted that long-term security, and Padres want to lock him up.
Okay, I'm gonna pause right there, Mike. You said he's going to be one of the best shortstops in the game for the next 6 to 10 years. He was signed to a 13 or a 14-year deal. I mean, 14-year deal. If he's only going to be the best shortstop for 6 to 10 years, is it really a steal? If he's going to be on that contract for potentially 8 to 4 more years after he's not the best in the league, I just think that doesn't classify as a steal if we only believe he's going to be at the top of his game for half of his contract.
Okay, so let's say 8 years, he's the best shortstop in baseball. After that, you're only paying him $24 million a year. 8 years from now, contracts are going to be super inflated, right? So with the production that you're going to get from Tatis at that time and point, it's going to be more than valuable. So I think this is a great deal for the Padres, given how little they have to pay him per year. Obviously, it's a long, long contract, right? And this is why baseball teams sign these superstar players, they know that near the end of their deals, they aren't going to be what they once were, right? You kind of have to take the good with the bad, right? But what you're going to get is an MVP caliber player at shortstop that can do everything on the baseball diamond. He could field, he could hit, he could run, he could make contact with the ball. Absolutely everything you could ever wish for. So I think 24 million a year is really nothing, especially 10 years from now. That's gonna be like pocket change.
I agree with you there. I think just the one thing that we have to look at, and I don't know the logistics of the contract, but if the contract is potentially front loaded or back loaded to where he's going to be making more money at the beginning of the deal or at the back of the deal. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be that straight $24 million a year, or if it's going to start lower and then increase as he goes through the contract, or start high and then decrease as he goes through. I don't know logistics, but I think that would be something interesting to find out.
Yeah. Oh, what are you gonna say, man?
How old is he?
He's 22. That's the thing.
So by the end of the contract, he'd be 36.
Good math. Stats right there.
We'd be 33. Well, Tommy would be 34.
That's right. Well, and he just turned 22 in January too. So I don't know. Personally, Mike, I agree. I think you made a lot of good points. Obviously, he looks like he's going to be this, Hall of Fame caliber super talent, right? But the guy hasn't even played a combined full season yet. Like I just think that it's a huge commitment. And I do think that he's going to be what we're all expecting him to. I mean, you see what he's able to do night in and night out. I just think, but no, you did make a good point though, with the way that contracts are going to increase, and 24 million today, isn't going to be what it is in, by the
14 years.
That certainly for sure. But I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, right now he looks like he's going to be the incredible talent, but we got to see. I mean, the guy's 22 years old. He's still got, potentially 20 years ahead of him to play in the league. So, I hope it works out for the Padres for sure. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, it's definitely a really big contract. And I know I'm not used to the MLB contracts per se and how big they could be, but 14 years, that's a lot. But Mike brought up a really good point about the salary and how it's going to change, and how, and not necessarily pocket change, but something that it could be relatively close to that towards the end of the contract. So it's a big deal. I agree with you, Tommy. I don't know if I would have gave him that if I was San Diego right now, after only playing 160 games. But he played absolutely fantastic for San Diego this past season. So it's either a hit or miss, and I think it's probably going to pay off for the next 10 years.
Now, if you guys don't mind, I want to rewind us back quite a few Go Chat episodes ago to when Patrick Mahomes got his 10-year, $550 million contract, and we came onto the podcast and we talked about it, and we were hesitant about the deal, as anyone would be if you're making an average of $55 million a year to play in the NFL. And then, I mean, look at what he did this year, 14-2, lost in the Super Bowl. Do we think that these two deals have stuff in common, where after a great season that Tatis had in the 60-game year, he gets this deal where Patrick Mahomes, he won the Super Bowl, then he gets this deal. Do we think these contracts are comparative in their relevance to their sports?
Go ahead, Tom. I'll let you go first.
Oh, you sure? Thank you. I think in ways they do, but at the same time, you have to think what Patrick Mahomes did was far greater than what Tatis did. Mahomes won the Super Bowl. He won the MVP. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tatis did neither. And in football, you have to recognize that the quarterback, he does control the offense, obviously. And with Tatis, he can only do so much. And he was outstanding. So you can't necessarily put that on him. But I don't know. I just think that Mahomes was much more proven when he got the deal. And one thing I just want to bring up quick as well is that this is the third largest contract extension in Major League Baseball history. Mookie Betts is number one with his 12-year, $365 million deal. And then Mike Trout with his 10-year, $360 million deal. So, this is a lot of money. I mean, we're talking about two guys that are likely headed for the Hall of Fame compared to someone who, certainly could, and I hope that he does, but that hasn't even played a full year yet.
I think the main difference is that Patrick Mahomes like totally broke a barrier for any player in the NFL. I mean, we never see a contract go above 5 years in the NFL. There's so much turnover. There's so many other things that can affect your team's performance and your personal performance. While in baseball, it's really you and the pitcher, or just you and the ground ball coming at you. And I feel like in football, you're relying a lot more on other people. On baseball, not as much. And also, Patrick Mahomes, he's getting paid 50 million a year. The highest I think we've seen is 30, 38 to 40 with Deshaun Watson, right?
Mhm.
So Patrick Mahomes just went 10 million over what the top dollar is at that point. While Tatis, he fell like 6 million or so under, but for a longer period of time. So I think that's the main difference. I think the Chiefs are more projecting Mahomes to continue to play like one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time, while the Padres are just betting on Tatis to be one of the best at his position.
I think
I,
Mahomes'
I
contract was
Right.
utterly stupid. I'm gonna say that it was just stupid. I don't know why the Chiefs wanted to give him that much, just because how much you need like a team around you, given that they have Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, those guys around them that are going to need to be get paid. And we look at the Saints this year; they're under 90 million. They're not going to be a good team next year, given Drew Brees retires. They're just going to be a bottom team probably for the next couple of years until they can really get that cap space back up. So I'm thinking the difference between those two is the Tatis deal. That's happened in the MLB. It's granted, like we've seen that. They can isn't like does the MLB not even have a cap space or what?
It's like a luxury tax.
their cap space and luxury tax and everything it's all complicated and confusing.
Right.
I was
But
just
then
gonna say, I think the luxury tax threshold is like 220 million, if I'm
I
not
think it's
mistaken.
around there.
Yeah, I think it's
so-
around there. But you can go over and you just have to pay a fee. And, the Dodgers are like 40 over this year, which is crazy.
and then like in the NFL, I mean, when Patrick Mahomes' contract kicks in, they're not gonna have like big name stars around them unless they're gonna take a pay cut. So that's where I think the difference is. I don't like the Patrick Mahomes deal. Might be one of the group 10 most talented quarterbacks to ever play in the NFL. Just don't like that deal. And then Tatis, that's granted, with the luxury tax and stuff. So that's the difference too.
While we're talking about high quarterback deals, I think we transition over into our NFL trade of a quarterback who did get an extension last year. Now he's going to be playing on a different team. Carson Wentz has been traded to the Indianapolis Colts for a 2021 third-round pick and a 2022 second-round pick that could be turned into a first-round pick if Carson Wentz plays a 70% of snaps and gets into the playoffs, or there's another stipulation that could get them a first round pick there. But this is a massive deal, and I think the Colts 100% won this trade. But I mean, I'll get more into that. Mike, I'll swing it to you.
Yeah, the Colts, regardless of whether Wentz plays good or not for them, right? They had to take this shot. That his rapport with Frank Reich was apparent in 2017, where he had that near MVP season, even though there are like some other things like him being like insane on third down and stuff, but he played fantastic regardless, right? So I think Indianapolis was the only spot where he could really get his career back on track. And even if he doesn't, the Colts had to take this shot. They have no other options at quarterback. Dak is probably going to get tagged. The Texans don't want to trade Deshaun in their division to a division rival, and Matt Stafford is off the board. So I think this was really the only path they could have taken, unless they trade up for like Zach Wilson or Justin Fields or something like that. So I think this is a really good deal for the Colts, and I think they need to get maybe another weapon for Wentz. They got the O-line there. They got Jonathan Taylor at running back. Their team is absolutely fantastic. They got a ton of cap space, but the Colts 100%. They got a quarterback who could possibly lead them to the promised land. And for the Eagles, I don't know why you got rid of both Carson Wentz and Dougie P. Like I thought once you fired Dougie P, you choose Carson, but obviously Howie Roseman wanted both of them out. Don't really know where they go from here. Just back at the bottom of the NFC East, I guess.
Tommy, what were your thoughts when you heard about the trade?
Certainly interesting. You could kind of tell that they were headed in this direction, right? You saw at the end of the year, Jalen Hurts certainly getting more playing time, but Carson Wentz was hurt, right? Or was
No, he wasn't hurt this
he
year.
got benched. He led the league in interceptions.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
really bad.
Yeah, I saw that he led the league in sacks as well, 50 sacks. So certainly not what you want, as my buddy Joe Girardi would say. But I think that he still can be productive. We've seen he's been in a Pro Bowl, one-time Super Bowl champion, even though that year he was hurt, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I knew he was hurt at some point. But I think he can still be productive, and you see what the Colts are able to do. They had a great defense, and they need the offense to get a little bit of a boost. So we'll have to see. I hope it works out for the Colts and for Carson as well.
Matt, what are you thinking?
This was such a perfect deal for Indianapolis. The only quarterback, like Mike alluded to, the only quarterback on their roster right now is Jacob Eason. Now, I would not be comfortable with that guy starting week 1. So I think it was perfect for the Colts. For the Eagles, had to do what he had to do. I think there was something internally, other than Doug Peterson, that Carson just didn't want to come back, whether he didn't feel valued to the guys that decided to draft a quarterback in the second round, something like that. Something had to be just not sitting well with him that he wanted out, even though Doug was canned like a month earlier. But for the Colts, this is perfect. I mean, you got a defense. Let's bring it back to 2017 Eagles. They had a very fantastic defense. They had an amazing O-line, probably one of the best in the decade, if we're talking about that in the past decade. And then, you got Jonathan Taylor, you got Marlon Mack, you got running backs, and you got wide receiver. They might have to grab somebody in free agency or somewhere. I think that this is perfect for Wentz. I think it's a new place. He gets to breathe a little, and I expect the Colts to be in the playoffs, and I expect them to be a top team in the NFC, and I expect Carson Wentz to be back to where he was. That's a big expectation, but I just think that this is too well. He's back with Frank Reich. And I think that the Colts have a very bright future ahead of them.
Matt, I'm going to have to agree with you 100% there. I truly believe Carson Wentz is in the perfect spot for him now, back with Frank Reich. And I mean, Zach Pascal, who's a receiver for the Colts, is up for free agency. I think that has to be the Colts' biggest move this offseason, is to re-sign him, because we think back to 2017 with the Eagles. Alshon Jeffrey and Zach Pascal, I think their play is very similar, that they're fast, physical receivers who can get down the field. And I think that if Carson Wentz has a target like that there in Indianapolis, with an aging T.Y. Hilton still, I mean, T.Y. Hilton kind of showed some signs of life there at the end of the season last year, but he's been going down in his production year after year since he was really high a couple years ago. But I truly believe that Indianapolis and Carson Wentz are in a great spot. Another move that Indianapolis should make, I don't know if they're going to because of cap space and everything, but Marlon Mack is going to be up for free agency. They do have Jonathan Taylor there, but Marlon Mack is still a very good number 2 option. Their running back core is so deep, but I think that he would be a good addition to keep there in Indianapolis.
I think T.Y. Hilton is a free agent too.
Is he? I wasn't sure about T.Y.'s contract.
Yeah. I think a great option for the Colts would be they went out and got Kenny Galladay on the market, or maybe even a Chris Godwin, a bigger target for Wentz, because he's not the most accurate passer. So we know he loves to throw those big targets like Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, Alshon Jeffrey, like Connor mentioned. So I think it's really key if they get a really nice big tight end or a big wide receiver for them. And there's plenty of wide receiver options in the draft too. But imagine if they trade up and get like a Kyle Pitts or something. Oh my gosh, that would be ridiculous. But that's just me throwing it out there.
Here's my question for you guys. With all these quarterback trades that have been going on already in this offseason, that's going to be crazy. Me being a Jets fan, obviously there's huge question marks around the Jets quarterback position. I mean, obviously there's been news of Sam Darnold potentially being traded, and Adam Schefter's even gone out and said that he's as valuable as a late first round pick potentially to the Saints this upcoming draft. With the deals that we've been seeing for quarterbacks in the NFL, what do we think a trade for Sam Darnold? What is his value now as we come up to free agency in the NFL draft?
I don't think it's a first. I
Yeah,
don't think it's a first. But I could see a team paying for a first if they're really that desperate, because we saw what the Rams gave up for Matt Stafford, which he's a better quarterback than Darnold, obviously. He's a good quarterback, but they gave up a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone actually gave them a first, but I'd say he's probably around a second or a third. More like a Carson Wentz deal, even though I think Carson's a little more worth more than that. But it was a buy low situation for the Colts given Carson's year last year. But I wouldn't expect a lot from Darnold. But he does have the plus that he has is he's young.
yeah. I don't know. If I'm a team, I wouldn't give more than 1 second or one. I wouldn't give more than 1 second for Sam Darnold. I mean, we've kind of seen what he's done. Obviously, the pieces around him have not been nearly as good as they need to be for a quarterback to succeed. But from what we've seen, he's super inconsistent, and maybe a good team around him will fix that. But I really don't see him being more than a game manager at this point.
Obviously, as we move farther through the offseason, more and more news and everything is going to come out. There's going to be more reports. So I guess we just kind of got to wait until the more reports come out. I mean, who knows? The Jets could keep Sam Darnold and trade out of the number 2 overall pick, or take the offensive tackle in Penei Sewell at number 2, or Devonta Smith at number 2, so Miami doesn't grab him at number 3. It's going to be a crazy offseason. We've already seen some great trades going on. Free agency starts in just about a month. It's just going to keep getting more crazy. And we've got baseball back. Spring training is starting like this week, right, Tommy? We've got games this week.
Yeah, spring training games start a week from today when the episode comes out. They start on Sunday. Pitchers and catchers have already reported, so it's an exciting time. Opening day, April 1st, so we're not too far away.
And I mean, we've got basketball. We've got the Utah Jazz playing at the top of the top of their league, their conference. Gosh, I just stumbled over my words there.
The NBA, pretty much.
It's insane. With the sports world, seems as if everything is coming together right now. It's a perfect time to be invested in sports, and I'm excited. I'm ready to get going with the off season, with spring training, and just continuing watching the NBA. It's a great time for sports.
The NHL too. Can't forget about that.
Yeah, I'm not an NHL fan, so.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up this segment. We're going to head into our Go Picks now, and we'll see you then.
Welcome back to Go Chat. We got the GOAT picks. Leaderboard is up. Nothing's really changed. I just tied with Tommy after. We're just doing awful, Tommy. Connor's 1 ahead of us, and Mike is, I don't know, 6, 5, something like that. Something like that. We still got a whole month to go, though. But we got 4 great games, 2 NBA, 2 NHL. You guys know how it goes. First game is Brooklyn and LA. This game is tonight on Sunday. Mike, who are you going to go with?
I'm going to go with the Clippers. I think that they're going to get revenge on Brooklyn from a close game last time around. Kawhi and PG are back. They just beat Utah, broke their winning streak. I think they're going to break Brooklyn's winning streak.
Connor?
I'm going to disagree and go with Brooklyn here. I just think they're going to beat the Clippers. The Clippers looked good. They looked good against Utah, but I mean, I don't know. I got to trust Brooklyn here.
Tommy?
Yeah, I got to go with Brooklyn too. I mean, they're coming off that big win against the Lakers, beat them by 11 points, pretty convincing win. So I got to roll with Brooklyn.
I'm going to go with Brooklyn too. I was thinking about going with LAC, but I'm going to go with Brooklyn here.
Have we ever thought of this as the reason why Mike is so far ahead? Because he chooses one team, and 3 of us choose the other.
Listen, no, guys, just keep doing your own thing. I'm comfortable up here.
Okay, next game we got Phoenix, Portland. This game is Monday night. Mike, who are you going to go with?
I'm going to go with Phoenix here. I just think that they have a more complete team than Portland. Portland's been playing really well, especially Damian Lillard. But I think Chris Paul could do a number on him, and the rest of the players on Phoenix will get it done as well.
Tommy, what are your thoughts?
It's not Tommy, it's me.
Whatever, Connor.
Go ahead, Connor.
And
Go.
Mike said it himself. The Blazers are playing incredibly well, so I'm going to go with the Blazers here in this game. They're going to beat the Phoenix Suns.
Tommy. Now, Tommy.
Now, Tommy, you're allowed to go now.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Connor. I think that Portland's going to keep this going. And yeah, I got them beating Phoenix.
Oh, man. Oh, gosh. I'm going to go with Phoenix. The odds of Mike losing the first two, I just don't think are slim. So I'm going to go with Phoenix. All right, next two, we got hockey.
I just have a bad feeling about this week. All these games are really close, to be fair.
You're welcome.
I hate you, Tommy.
First hockey game. We're just going to disregard that comment. First hockey game, we got the Carolina Hurricanes and the Tampa Bay Lightning. This game is on Monday as well. Mike, who are you going to go with?
I'm going to go with Tampa here. I still think that they're the best team in the league, even though they dropped 12-3 to Florida. I think Carolina is really good, but just not quite to Tampa Bay's level yet.
All right, Tommy, who are you going to go?
I think it's Connor. We're going to see what Connor thinks.
You know, man, I've had enough of this little shenanigan that you're pulling. I'm gonna go with the Lightning here as well.
Tommy.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go with the home team. Carolina is going to get the win. And hey, I do like Tampa, though. I picked them all throughout the postseason in the bubble, but no, I got to go with Carolina.
Tommy, if they're the home team, are they playing North Carolina or South Carolina?
No idea. You know, first I was kind of thinking, North. Okay. I was thinking like they were the Miami Hurricanes, and then I saw Carolina, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's the college. So, you know, I don't know. I'm just going with they have a slightly better record.
All right, I'm going with Tampa Bay. Next game, last game, Pittsburgh Penguins versus Washington Capitals. This game's on Tuesday, I'm pretty sure. Mike?
I'm going to go with Pittsburgh here. The Capitals are kind of really don't look like their normal selves. I'm going with Pittsburgh here. It is another tough game.
Connor?
Yeah, I got to go with the Penguins. The Penguins of Pittsburgh.
Why?
For fun.
Okay.
Tommy?
No, just wondering was you're like, I got to go with them.
Yeah, I got to go with Pittsburgh as well. I think they're going to beat Washington.
Give me Washington. I think Pittsburgh is a very talented team, but I think they're a little inconsistent.
I mean, to be fair, both teams are
They
extremely.
both are. I was like in my head, I was thinking, how credible is this argument right here? But no, I'm just gonna go with Washington. See how it goes. Probably lose.
All right. Well,
we got Go Picks coming up next week. I have
Go to the week.
Or Go to the Week. Go to the Week, not Go Picks. We just did Go Picks. Guys, I'm going over my words here today. Go to the Week coming up.
Welcome back to Go Chat. We're here for the Go of the Week. The leaderboard is up. Matt Kane is winning as always. I don't even know what the standings are, but I know that he's doing great. I'm sure he won last week.
I did. I went with Todd Bowles, Tommy.
With Todd Bowles, that's right, over Tom Brady. We had like second
overtime. It was the second overtime we ever had.
Yeah, second overtime. And yeah, I'll start with you, Matt, because you always win. So
listen. It's all for fun, guys. It's not about the winning. So the leaderboard's up right now. But it's not about the winning.
I said the leaderboard was up.
I know. It was a joke because I said it's not about winning, and then I said the leaderboard is up right now.
That's hilarious. All right, let's keep going.
Back to my pick. I'm gonna go with Joel Embiid. He had a monster game last night on Friday. He got 50 points. That's his career high. And the game before that against Houston, he got 31. He's just playing like an absolute beast, MVP caliber player. And he got me 104 fantasy points, and I'm playing against Mike. So you know I'm going to win. I'm going to win the Go of the Week and the game against Mike in fantasy because of Joel Embiid. Tommy.
Oh, I forgot. Do you want me to go? I'll go. I'm going to go with Brett Gardner this week. He re-signed with the Yankees. There was a question of whether or not he would come back because they signed Jay Bruce and, getting close to position players reporting, but Brett is back, the longtime Yankee. He's the last connection that the Yankees have to that 09 championship team. He's been nothing but great for the Yankees over his career. Defensively, he's been outstanding. He won a Gold Glove. He was a one-time All-Star back in 2015, and 129 career home runs, which is
hang on. This isn't a go to the number segment, Tommy.
Well, I know, but
Go to the week. Why should they pick you? Give a brief description why they should pick Brett Gardner.
For this week.
For this week, he re-signed with the Yankees. He's the heart and soul of the team. He's a leader in that clubhouse, and he's back. It's a great week for the Yankees, and I'll wrap it up there.
All right. I think I'm going to have to take over this moderating because we know Tommy can't. Connor, who are you going to go with?
I'm going to go with the Women's Australian Open winner, Naomi Osaka. She swept Serena Williams in the semifinals. I think it was a 6-4 and a 6-3 finish against Serena. And she beat Jennifer Brady in the finals by the same margin of 6-4 and 6-3 by the sweep. This is her fourth major championship at just 23 years old. Very impressive for Naomi. She beat her her mentor in Serena in the semis and was able to win it in the championship. Fourth major championship at 23 years old. Definitely deserving of a goat of the week win.
And finally, Mike.
I'm gonna go with Jonathan Huberdeau. He's a winger for the Florida Panthers, and he had quite the week this week. 3 goals, 4 assists, +5 rating over only 3 games. He had 7 points in 3 games this week, and he had one of the most beautiful passes I have ever seen in my whole life. With a little spinorama pass right on the tape to Alex Winberg. I mean, he's thrown himself into the hard discussion after this week. The Panthers are playing the best I've ever seen them play in my whole lifetime. And Jonathan Huberdeau is the GOAT of the week.
Mike, his performance definitely is impressive, but he's not going to win for the simple fact that Stephen Curry didn't win last week when he had a great week as well. So for that fact, he's not going to win. Tommy, I'm sorry, Brett Gardner's just you're going to get maybe 1 vote. Matt, I mean, Joel Embiid, he's cool. He's cool and everything.
You know I'm going to win.
Yeah.
I'm going to win.
Naomi Osaka had the most impressive week of the 4 of us. I mean, to win a 4th major championship at 23 years old and to beat one of the best in Serena Williams. Impressive. Naomi Osaka is the GOAT of the week. There shouldn't even be a poll up because I won.
I agree.
Okay, buddy, calm down. Don't take your frustrations about last week out on me just with Steph Curry didn't win, okay? He shouldn't even been in the running, okay? It was the Super Bowl. The 2 people in the Super Bowl were most deserving for the GOAT of the week. Topical was a great pick, but personally, I think Tom Brady should have won. But that's not the here nor there. You're not going to win. It's really between me and Matt right now. If we're being honest, we all know Matt's going to win. Like usual, for some reason, just the GOAT of the week always falls into his lap. We got to do a better job.
Mike, you're a big gambler. You want to put some money on this GOAT of the week? I'm
not putting any money on this. Because I know I'm probably not going to win. No one knows who the heck Jonathan Huberdeau is outside of the 10% of NHL fans.
All right. Well, you know what? This has been one of the...
Connor, hold this. Can you hold it? Hold it. I want to see you hold it. I'm passing it to you.
You're the one who has it right now. You're the one with all the L's. You're the one making it. So.
Ooh.
Yeah. This has been a great episode of Goat Chat. One of the funnier GOAT of the Week segments that we've had in a while. Definitely the GOAT of the Week is going to come out on Monday. So definitely go and you're going to vote on that. And you're going to vote for the right one, Naomi Osaka. The only deserving GOAT from this week. I'll just reiterate again, 4th major championship at 23 years old. Matt's throwing stuff on his camera. He's lost his attention span. We'll be back with Goat Chat.
I lost your attention span because you're a clown.
Next week. Catch you back the same time.
Subscribe.